Joel Embiid has been bringing back a style of interior basketball that has been missing from the game for so long. Similar to his main MVP competition, this man has been missing the second best player for over half the season. And yet, he has managed to hold this Sixers squad in the upper echelon of the strongest Eastern Conference we've seen in years. With tremendous paint domination, a tighter handle, a PER that is on pace for top 10 all time, and ever-extending range, Joel Embiid has been making a very strong case for MVP this year.
Another level, mounting a scoring streak that would last 23 straight games in which he scored at least 25 points. And Embiid's scoring streak, it was the second longest in 76ers history, only behind Allen Iverson, and tied for the longest in the NBA this season. That's with LeBron James.
There is a lot to be said about Joel's scoring capabilities. Some of it is negative, sure, mainly due to a high number of free throw attempts per game, in which he leads the league with 11.6 per. However, there is an undeniable truth that comes with this level of scoring production, and it's the fact that his ability to put the ball in the basket is different than most of the centers we've seen come through the league. And for those that see 29.7 points a night and shrug it off, I want you to pay close attention to this video. Let's start with a bit of trivia, shall we? Out of these 4 Hall of Fame centers that are on the screen right now, can you guess who the last center was to win the scoring title and what year he did it in? We all made our choices? Well, the correct answer is Shaquille O'Neal in the 1999 to 2000 season, where he averaged nearly 30 a game, and Joel is on the exact same path. He's averaging 29.7 points, 11 rebounds, and over 4 assists this season, and has been the catalyst for his team's success. I want to talk about something that I found honestly incredibly interesting while putting together this script. Something that is probably very, very damning to any Embiid haters out there. I went on to NBA.com to see how the Sixers were doing as a team stat-wise. You know, just to see the level of importance that Joel holds. On the day of this recording, March 9th, 2022, I clicked through all of the front page traditional team stats, and the Sixers were outside of the top 10 in all but 3 major categories: free throw metrics, blocks per game, and most importantly, win percentage, where they've somehow cemented themselves as a top 5 team in the league. Actually, I think it's kind of unfair to say somehow, because that somehow is Joel Embiid. He is the reason this team is as good as it is, because if you look at all of the metrics surrounding this Sixers squad, there is no shot in hell that this team is as good as they are if Joel is not playing as high of a level as he is. And through all of that, they are well above 10 games over 500. With such dominance, naturally teams are gonna want to attack the main threat. But how do you do that to Embiid? 9 different teams have met the famous 40-point wrath of Joel, amassing in 10 total games this season of over 40. Each of these games was also accompanied by 10 plus rebounds, 10 plus free throw attempts, and a minimum of 50% from the field. Oh, and just in case people still think his stats are empty, the Sixers are a whopping 8-2 when he scores 40 or more. So, taking a look at the equation now, elite stats plus team wins equals the #1 recipe for an MVP case. His team's success comes from his own success, and you don't get much more valuable than that.
Watching that game last night, I was watching a guard in a 7-foot body that weighs 260 damn pounds, Keith. It was the physical contact that he would be able to create, that he could power through with the shiftiness of Hakeem Olajuwon, with Kobe-like shot-making ability as a 7-footer.
It's gotten to the point where Joel is just so automatic from anywhere inside the three-point line that sending him to the free throw line is probably the better strategy for any team going up against him. And oh, by the way, if you're gonna keep on fouling him, he's gonna keep shooting over 82% on the year from the free throw line. So you pick your poison, really. And sure, if you want to go the opposite route and try to keep him out of the paint, you've got another thing coming. Because part of this man's rise was the inclusion of a great perimeter game. He's shooting 35% from 3 this year, on just over 3.5 attempts per game. And this is not just standing shots. It comes in a variety of packages as well. You've got the spot up 3, you've got the transition 3, and then you've got this.
Back in, Embiid, got it, a 3!
A GD step back 3. Are you kidding me? And to take a further step back in Joel's career, we can now talk about his progression as a playmaker. The one thing with his career was that he was pretty bad at it. And whether it was making the wrong decision or just not making the pass at all, it was something he had to improve if he wanted to reach the MVP level. Part of being a dominant postman involves dealing with double teams from each and every way. Embiid's improved a lot in terms of finding the cutter with his back to the basket. Case in point, this play, where he demonstrates his ability to identify the double team and make a smart, accurate pass to Matisse, who he noticed in his periphery. Or even this beautiful float into the hands of Tobias. Just a special showcasing of his willingness to practice and improve in a problem area, and thus raising his own value and at the same time raising the ceiling of the Philadelphia 76ers. I'm gonna make this the category section of the video because I think Joel's raw numbers tell such an incredible story. Because unlike Jokic, who we did a video on last week, Joel is not favored as highly in the advanced stats. Now, while he is ranked highly in certain ones, the all-encompassing basis of advanced stats does not help him in this instance. So now we're looking to the raw numbers. In the span of 15 games in January, the Sixers went 12-3. These games included wins against the Grizzlies, the Celtics, and the Heat. Joel himself averaged an incredible 34 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists in 14 of those games. A 31-point triple-double against the Rockets was how we started off that month, which was then followed by, and I kid you not, 4 straight 31-point outings. Still not amazed. Don't worry, I have more things up my sleeve. You know that whole thing where Joel was scoring more points than minutes he played? So yeah, there was a 5-game stretch in January where he just kept doing it. The Wizards, the Magic, Clippers, Spurs, and Pelicans were the unfortunate victims, with the Magic being the chosen ones to give up a 50-burger to him, which by the way was done in 27 minutes of action. He's managed to check every box in the MVP checklist, all in a singular month. And I know I kept this relegated to January, but truthfully, Embiid has done these things all season long. It's just that January encapsulated everything that he's been about. It was a 4-week period that turned Joel from a lot of people's second in line to a lot of people's MVP favorite. First, I want to shout out Jacob Mosier, who was absolutely incredible in helping me organize my thoughts for this video. And for the same reason, I want to also shout out Cullen Joyce. He was instrumental in the final stages of the script writing process, and this video wouldn't be possible without him or Jacob. This whole thing has been a dream of mine for several years now, and it's something that I'm finally able to pursue. And to see that you guys are coming out in droves with such support makes me so happy. Next week's video will be episode number 3 of MVP Case. But until then, stay safe, stay healthy. I'll talk to y'all later.